Just turned. Good morning, everyone. I think I'm live. I believe I'm live. Welcome to Timeout Tuesday on the 13th of January. Can't believe we've reached that spot already. I think once you hit the teens of January, the month flies. So, yeah. So today I'm going to do a stamp set that took my eye, but it's not one that I have seen a lot of prep on. I'm just going to push this to the front so that I can see myself. There we go. Yeah, it's not one that I have seen a lot of work done on. It's called Big Little Things, and it's in the mini catalogue. Let me find it for you. I believe it's a mini catalogue. Most people look over it. Where are we? Stamp sets. No, it must be in the main catalogue because it's not in this. It must be in the annual catalogue. Okay, but it's an interesting one. It's got some animals, so let's have a look in this. It might even be an online one, which I think it might be. Yeah, I think it's online, this one. Big Little Things. So it's got a panda, an elephant, a hippo, and a dugong. Yep. It's very, very cute, but yeah, it was really hard to find. I started off with stamping lots and lots of images. So there's just the stamp set. Let you have a look. There we go. This is how I keep my stamps. I stamp it on the back or on the front, and then I can set that in, and I know that that's there. Okay, so I've stamped it on that straight, and just suits me that. So let's pop that back in for now. And I stamped a whole page of these, and then I cut them all out. So I've got, just to show you, the elephant, a couple of elephants, a dugong. The advantage of stamping lots is that you can pick the ones that you prefer. A hippo and a panda. That's our four different, and I've got some more hippos and dugongs and stuff. So those are the ones I've done. Now I've used all of them, but I'm going to show you how I've used them. The first one I had an idea for, and I made this up out of I'd thought about, I'm not very fond of shaker cards, but I thought this might be fun. So it's a shaker card with dugong in it, and I used some DSP that I had. Can't remember what it was, but as background, and then I used the swirly folder, for swirly embossing folder, for the front, and cut a window with the postage dies. So, and then I put another dugong in the inside. To someone worth celebrating every single day. Quite a cute card. And I had these left over from another project, and they've got shells and all sorts of things in them, and I thought they'd be perfect for the window behind. So that's just a window card that I made. I'll just pop them over there. Okay, so let me show you what I did. I sort of went on Pinterest first, and they had some in black and white. So I decided I would do a little bit of black and white. So this is my first one that I've done. It's very, very simple. I've got a basic black base. Put that one to the side. And I'm going to put a white insert in it. I probably didn't introduce myself. I'm Elizabeth Yeager, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sydney, Australia. Though my accent probably doesn't sound very Australian to those of you who are Australian. I grew up in Northern Ireland. So I'm just going to, this is some black and white paper that I had, and I thought I would use it up for this. Can't remember what it's called. I may have it written down in my book because I prepared these a little while back. What did I use? Retired DSP, it just says. So, okay, so what I've got is a piece of black, which is going to go across like this, and a piece of the white underneath. Just get it centered so it covers the other. Okay. Can't remember what I was doing with this, so let's work it out. I'm going to put the arches on, put this guy on. Actually, that's what I was going to do. That. And then this on the bottom. Yep, now I remember. It's a while since I've done it. So we've got to put that on. Let's put this piece. This is really retired a long time ago. It was one of the ones you can probably recognize, those little animals, but it was perfect for what I wanted because I wanted black and white. I'm going to put it in the middle so it looks like a band, you know. Then pop this on the card in the center. Just want to push it over a little bit. There we go. Looks just a teeny bit short. Then I'm going to put my panda. I think I'll put it on with dimensionals. I think that would be a good thing to do. Let's get some mini dimensionals for our little panda. Very cute little animal. Well, it's not little, that's why they call it big little things. I've got an everyday arch and I'm going to pop it up in the middle of the everyday arch. And I've got my trusty rubbish bin here to try and put my dimensionals in. I was sitting working here at this table this morning, doing some die cutting and some embossing. Pop her in the middle. And then I think I'm going to raise that all again. Got a couple of dimensionals there. And one there. That's used all the dimensionals except for the edge. So let's work on the edge now. And what I'm doing, and I should be on camera, is just cutting the edge strip into little pieces. I can usefully use those. One there, one there. And I might get my husband to answer this phone. Rod, could you answer that now? I'll just put it off for now. It's okay. I'm just trying to organize piano students, and that was one of the parents. So I'll call them after I've finished. Yeah, it's a fun time of year because I teach piano privately, and everybody wants the same time, and unfortunately I can't clone myself. So there we go, that's going on. Then I've stamped big birthday wishes on black and used one of the punches to just give it a special edge. I'm going to place it on the white. And I'm also going to put that on dimensionals as well. Let's get one up there, one there. I think I lost the top of that one. And I'll leave that one And let's pop these in here. My trusty little bin. And I'm just going to put this on the bottom like that. Actually, do you know what? I might put it slightly on that. Okay, so that's what I've done with that one. My first one. My second one, very, very similar, except I sort of changed it a little bit. So this time I used a white, oops, white base, similar, but it's got a black background. And I'm going to put this on. Okay, now I've got 3 mini arches this time. I'm going to put them on like windows, like that. But I am going to stick 3 pandas in each one on each one. So for this one, before I should have done, I can still do it. I'm going to put this behind. Okay, so I am going to. This is old ribbon that I had, and I thought it would be perfect for this. So let's stick the ribbon on. So it's sort of in the center, and it's going to go under like that. Okay, so now I have to, actually what I might do is actually put this on dimensionals as well, partly because the ribbon is quite thick. Whoops, I just lost a dimensional onto the computer. One there, one there, one there. I can't remember what I was originally going to do, but hey, you know. It was something like this. One there, and I'll put one more on it. Take those off. Now when I put this on, although the paper is bowing a little bit with the ribbon on it, it will lie flat. So that one, and that one. I'm going to lay it across here. I'm not sure if this is what I was going to originally do, but you know, pop it down here, I think. There we go. Now, because that's raised up, I'm going to have to put some dimensionals on the back of these as well, and then I'll just put the pandas on flat. So let's do that. One there. And it's amazing how quickly you use these up. And I'll go around the side here. But don't waste these edges. They're really useful to use for, because you don't see them at the front. So one up there, one there, one there. Do the same in the next one. One there, one there, one at the top, and 2 in the middle. And the same. Actually, I probably don't even need 2 in the middle because of the ribbon. But yeah, I reckon I'll put that up there. Maybe that there. Let's put these on. So I'll pop him there. Just want to straighten it up a little bit. There we go. I could actually think I could do with another Another one on top of that, just to hold it up a little bit there at the top. I think I need a double one at the top. Where did I put this? Yep. Pop my bits in. And I'll set another one on top of that, just to raise it up a little bit on the top. There we go. Those are all sticky. And I'll come in about the same on the other side. About there. And then this one, I'm going to try and put this one on the top. With another one on top of it. And those ones underneath. And let's see if I can get that in the middle. There we go. So I've got those three. Now my three pandas. And I'm just going to use tape on these. One. I have no idea if this is what I was going to do originally, but no. Two. And one more. Three little pandas looking at us. And then I've got big birthday wishes, and I might put that up the top. And I'll definitely put that on dimensionals because it needs to be raised up a little bit. Put one in the middle. There we go. Get rid of the backs. Sometimes I do the dimensionals first before I come on. It can be quicker that way. I think I'll put that in the middle. And that's my second card. Okay, so I've got those two. And then I've got another one that I've done. This is one that I've completed with the elephant. And what I've done is I've used prairie grass for the background. So I've got it basically done. And you can see how I've used the prairie grass on that. I don't know. Yes, I do. So it's mossy meadow I've used. And I've got my stem set. So I'm going to just put that on the inside. That wasn't very well done. Mossy meadow must be drying out a little bit. Let's try again. There's always two sides to cards. That's better. Pop that over there so I don't get it on anything. Okay, that's going to go on the inside. So let me get my glue. And finish off the inside first. So that's using the stamped prairie grass, which is also no mine. So I've stamped the prairie grass on this. And I've tried, you notice how in the middle it's got that, but that's okay because that's going to be hidden. So I've got some mossy meadow. I've blended this little piece with balmy blue, and then I've stamped mossy meadow full strength on the top. So I'm going to stick that onto the mossy meadow card. So it's centered. And that's going to go in the middle here, and my elephant is going to go on there. Can you see it? And I've got hello there. Okay, so you can see what I've done. I'm going to put the elephant on dimensionals as well because it is easier to, it just gives it a bit of dimension. And I will have used basically a lot of these by the end. Pardon me. One there, one on that there, one up on its back, one on its foot, and one on its rump. I'll get an extra one. Might put that on the front foot. Okay, let's take the backs off. I'll put our elephant on. Now, I've just stamped these in Memento Black, the animals. So they're as they would be when you stamp them. Okay, so she's going on there. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That there. And let's take the backs off. There we go. And I'll pop my elephant on, center it. Looks good. Now I'm going to place this. You can see I tried it the other side, but I wasn't happy with the other side. Do a little bit down both sides just to make sure it sticks to the card. Make sure I put it on the right way around. There we go. And then I've got my sentiment, which wants to stick to me, not to. And I'm just going to add, this is one of the stamps from the set. Hello there, down here at the bottom. And it's in Mossy Meadow and white embossing. And then I've got some of these stamps, full glass dots. And this is perfect for what I want. I'm going to use the green ones because they're just perfect for this. So let's put one up there. I'll put, I think I lost that one on the way across. One there. And I might put another big one up here. And that's my third card. Now for my final card today, it is very, very similar to the other one, but it was just from pieces I had left over. But I used it for the hippo as well. Oops. So let's get Mr. Hippo out. And I'll try and remember what I was going to do. Okay, so basically I have, and I'd started playing with this, I had this piece of very vanilla that I'd embossed with the fern folder, which is an old embossing folder. And I thought, oh, I really want to use that. So I'm going to put this here on the inside. So let's do that first. The very vanilla. It looks lovely with Mossy Meadow. Just to give you a different perspective. There we go. Okay. So now this came with the Storybook Friends. So I'm going to use that side of it. And I've used the very vanilla again. And I've just done some basic grey and some blue. And then the prairie grass at the bottom. So let's pop that. And I want it to go on the middle of this piece. That looks about right. Okay. And then I've got my little hippo. And he's going to go on here. And I shall put him on dimensionals as well. So let's keep cutting here. Next time I'll try and remember to cut them before I start. And then I won't have to do this, but it shows you. I'm going okay anyway. This is our last card today. So I'll pop one on his foot, one on his back, and one on his face. Okay, let's pop him on here. So he's going to sit on the actual card. So these are ones I've made up myself. I couldn't find anything like these or any ideas. And I thought, oh, look, that's what I'm here for. I love creating. So why don't I create my own design? I'm not just here to case all the time. First one is a case. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, that was a case. But the rest are my own design. So let's take the backs off. And this plaid from Storybook Friends is actually very, very good for this because it's got the same colors in it. You could go for different colors. So I'll pop that there. And then I've got some old olive grey thread. So what I'm going to do is just wrap this around my little finger. I'm actually going to pop it on the back of this. So I've cut a tiny circle from, let's do that again, from Mossy Meadow. I can't remember whether I cut it with the circle dies or with the punch at the time. Ugh. And I'm just going to stick that to the back, see, like that. And then I've got huge thanks, and I'm going to pop that on the front in the middle of this circle, and that's going to go down the bottom. So that definitely will need dimensionals because of the twine on the back. So if this is a set that you hadn't thought about, I'd suggest you have a look at it because it actually makes a really, really nice card. And you can always team it up with other things like I did. So I'm going to put my huge thanks there. Isn't that pretty? Just totally different look. And I actually think on this one, I'm going to put some embellishments from this when I find where I put my pick, which has gone on the floor. There we go. I'm thinking of putting these ones on. I think I'll put that one on there. We've got 3 different colors here. I'll put one on over there, and I'm going to put a small one on there. They're not quite, I don't know what color that would be, but it's almost like a wild wheat color, isn't it? Which is one of our retired colors. But aren't they pretty? You can see I hadn't used very many of them, so it's a good excuse to use them. You could even use these ones on it as well. So let's go through our cards that we've made today. So this was one I made before, shaker one. I did this one with the panda. Then I did the triple panda one. I've done the elephant and the hippo. And can you see the hippo behind my name? There we go. So those are my cards that I've made these for during the broadcast today. So I hope you like those. Just a totally different stump set than I would usually play with, but yeah, it's good to challenge yourself actually, and I'm glad that I did that. So on this one, I could probably also stamp the prairie grass on the inside. I think that would be a really good thing to do. So why don't you do that before I finish? Now, next week, I am going to be using Greenery Lane. Now, I don't know if you've seen Greenery Lane. It's washi tape and a die, and I believe there's a stump set as well. Yes. So I'm going to show you how oh, look at that. It didn't come out. I think there must be a bump on this table. And that'll do. I'll make a little shadow. There we go, behind it. So it's got a shadow on. Often is a good thing to do. And yeah, I think I need to make sure to bring my mat over when I'm doing these. Now, get that to stick. So there's my cards for today. Big little things. I hope you like them, and I hope it inspires you to use them in a different way. I will see you next week. And we're going to have a go at, oh, I think it's greenery lane. I can't remember. It's either that or the bugs. I love the bugs. Cute as a bug. It's one of those two because I've been preparing a few in advance before life gets busy. So, yeah, hope you've enjoyed those today, and I will see you next week. Bye.